Odysseus supports the functionality of building a package which includes multiple elements, and a customer can buy a cruise package that includes air, hotel, transfers, activities, and then have one price for all of the elements. Custom packaging as a feature is built such that the only element that's booked live is the cruise, and all other elements are managed offline. Today, in this video, we're going to show you how a custom package is built. So we're on the results page here, and you can see that we're looking at an Alaska sailing that is a Seattle round trip. Over here, you will see an icon that says convert to custom. If you go to the landing page, you will also see a button that says convert to custom, and you can use either of those. And if you're adding multiple elements, you can also do the same thing with multiple elements when you get to the checkout page. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a cruise and build a custom package from scratch. So I'm going to click on convert to custom here. You can either click create new custom package, or you can search for an existing package and you can clone some elements from existing packages. We will cover that in a separate video. So let's click on create new custom package here. When you arrive on this page, the first thing you do is you give the package a name. So let's call it Bliss 2025. And you also need to give it a package code. And you normally want a package code to be unique so that when somebody searches using a package code, it only shows up uh, with one result. You can decide whether you want a package to be limited to just two guests or four guests or six guests. If you are booking it online, you need to limit it to the same number of guests as whatever the cruise line supports. For demo purposes, I'm going to select four guests here, and I am going to set the minimum at two guests. So this package will have a minimum of two guests and a maximum of four guests. The short description is something that you want to show whenever the customer first gets to the landing page. So let's say, enjoy the beauty of Alaska on this one of a kind cruise that accentuates rich cultural experiences aboard the Bliss. All right. So you then set up the package here, and we'll start with valid from. So we'll just assume that this package is valid from today. Valid to decides when the package will stop selling. So since this is a sailing for May 3rd, 2025, I am going to make it so that this cruise is sold until March 31st, 2025. Deposit allowed until, so since we're selling this until March 31st, I'm going to say deposit allowed until January 31st. Deposit days. This decides how many days a customer can deposit. And so you can do 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Of course, the maximum number of days we would allow here would be whatever the cruise line allows. So for now, I'm just going to set it as 2 days. Um, Final payment due date. So this is when the final payment is due. Again, if the cruise line has a due date, that due date will win. But if you want to make it shorter than the cruise line date, then you can. So since our final day that we're going to sell is March 31st, I'm going to make it March 31st. Package status, draft, publish. So publish, it has to be in publish status for the package to actually show up. So I'm going to make it publish. Package type, this is used for filters. So you want to select the right one. If it's just cruise, you can do cruise only. If it includes hotel, you want to do cruise and land. If it includes hotel, air, and cruise, you want to do cruise, land, air. So I'm going to select that one for now. Booking options. So as I mentioned previously, all elements other than cruise are always offline in a custom package. This online, B2B only online and offline only drive the cruise element. I'm going to set it up as B2B only online, which means if an agent is making a booking, the cruise will be booked online. But if a customer books it, it will be offline. So if a customer makes a booking and if it's offline, the agent has to make sure that they actually book it with the cruise line and also they book all the other elements which are being booked offline. Minimum deposit amount, you can choose to set a minimum or leave it blank. I'm going to choose to leave it blank, and that will allow the system to decide the correct deposit amount. Duration, so this sailing is a 7 night sailing, and let's just say that we're adding a few nights of hotels. So let's call it a 10, 11 night sailing. All right. Category codes, if you decide to only make specific category codes available, or group codes or fare codes, you can enter those values here. But if you do not enter those, then we will simply use everything that's available. Similarly, you could exclude specific fare codes, or you could exclude specific using fare code description. You could exclude some fares as well. And you can also do rate code types. So you can add other rate codes if you want other rate codes to be available. Affiliates, this affiliate drop down, if you want to make a package available simply on one affiliate, you can do that as well. And then similarly, if you have a site that allows affiliate groups, you can also create a group and only make that package available for a specific affiliate group. Okay. A PDF path, if you've created a PDF brochure for the package, you can add a link here. And now I'm going to add a few images. So we can add a showcase image and we can add two additional images. So I'm going to click on showcase image. It opens up this section. And if you have images saved, you can use an existing image. Or if you want, you can always upload more images by clicking on add file. I have a few Alaska images, so I'm just going to use those. I'm going to use this one as my showcase. The showcase image is the big image that shows up on the landing page. And then I'm going to use Alaska sled as my image one. And I'm going to use Alaska rail as my image two. All right. So I have three images now. I'm going to enable allow hold. This is for customers. B2B, of course, they would always have hold. Allow deposit. Again, allow deposit allows us to show two different payments, deposit and final. Allow price breakdown. This is simply for agents, not for customers. But if you want the customer agent to be able to see different price breakdowns, this is where they can click on allow price breakdown. And I am going to make this active so that my package gets published as soon as we are finished. Now you can go to the notes section, and in the notes section, we give you a long description which can handle about 8,000 characters. You have inclusion info, internal notes. This is only for your agents. Policies, if you have additional policies that you want to write down beyond whatever we receive from the cruise line. And then travel notes. This is where you can add any instructions like, make sure your visa is current and things like that can also be added over here. So in the long description or inclusion info, um, you can enter more information about what's part of the cruise. So in this case, since we are looking at this, let's see what we have here. So for now, I'm just going to copy. I'm just going to add this. And then in the inclusion info, I'm going to say includes 4 nights of hotel stay, 2 nights prior, and 2 nights post cruise. Includes 1 full day excursion to tour Seattle. Includes economy, airfare from one of 3 gateway cities: C, LAX, let's say New York, Chicago, and Miami. All right. And then again, internal notes. This is for internal use only. And I'm going to add a warning just to be safe. All right. So we have all of this description. And now you can click on your itinerary. And in your itinerary, you will see right now that we just have the cruise element. However, we will add other elements as open segments. So let's add, first of all, the May 3rd is the cruise. So we're going to add a hotel from, so we can say something like 3 or 4 star hotel in Seattle. And so let's do May 1st. And check-in time for a hotel is normally 3 p.m. And then checkout on the 3rd of May. And checkout is noon for most hotels. This is in Seattle. Keep in mind, some of these fields are optional, so you don't actually have to select the city. You do have to select a start date. Supplier due date and time. If you want to set a specific due date for when the payment is due for the hotel, you can do that here. Includes standard room for 2 guests for room, standard room at a 3 or 4 star hotel for availability. Now, since we don't know exactly which hotel it'll be, we can just say to be determined. Um, and then the currency here is, so if I uncheck this box, include in deposit, what it will do is it'll combine the cruise payment with the final payment. Okay. So I'm going to say that the room is about $350 plus 15 taxes. Since it's a hotel, guest two would make no difference to the pricing, and therefore I'm going to add another 350 here. So if there are more than two guests, then automatically it would add a second room. Okay. If you want, you can add commission or you can choose not to. So let's say if I get 10% commission and I'm giving away 5% to the agent, I can do that. If I want to add my own markup because there is no commission, I can also add a markup here instead. So let's say I add a $5 markup. Okay, so now you can see there's a markup, um, and then save. So the prices are saved. This is the profit. Save and continue. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer, but once we add this hotel, we'll add a second hotel, and then we will talk about air as well. So now after the cruise, we have another hotel. So you can see now I'm going to do the 10th as the check-in. Um, of course, the time is still going to be 1500 hours. And then I'm going to do a checkout on the 12th at 1200. And city is optional. I can enter Seattle or leave it blank. Call for simplicity, we'll use the same pricing. And I'm not going to, this time I'm not going to add a markup. I'll just leave the commission at 12% and agent commission at 5%. And I will hit save and continue. All right, so now it's going to add the hotel after the cruise. Okay, so now you can see we have a hotel here. Now I'm going to add air. So I click on add open segment, and this time we will select air, and we will say round trip economy fare to Seattle from NYC. So we'll do NYC as our default, and we will talk about the other gateways once we've done that. So this is now May 1st, and this is also May 1st. So Seattle to New York to Seattle, probably about 5 hours. We will just, let's just call it 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And the reason being is since we are flying from New York to Seattle, there is a time difference. And so a 5 hour flight um, is only really going to take up 2 hours of your time. So now on the return, it is going to be Seattle to New York, and this will be on the 12th since we have a 2 night hotel stay, and this could either be it could easily be a red eye. So let's call it at 9 o'clock at night, and by the time you get there, it will be the 13th, let's say 5 a.m. Okay, so round trip economy fare. And because air, we can use to be determined because we do not know yet, again, which airline it will be. So I'm going to say $500 plus 120 in taxes. And since air is per guest, I can easily just clone the same prices because it'll be the same fare for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to hit save and continue. So once we've done this, we will talk about optional packages, but we will build a separate video where we talk about optional packages that can be added. All right, I am going to now save this package. You can see here, this is the return, this is the outbound air, the hotel on both sides, and then the cruise is right in here in the middle. And I will hit save package. We do have some caching. So when a package is first created, the prices will not show up right away um, up here, and the package will not show on the results page just yet either. It takes some time. However, in our next video, we will start with showing what the package looks like, and we will then proceed to add optional packages.